Now let's discuss about the naming, addressing and forwarding. MAC address. Global Unique Identifier, also called as physical address or hardware address. MAC stands for Media Access Control. MAC addresses are 6 bytes, that is 48 bits in length, and are written in mm, and are written in the following format. The first to see a MAC address. Now let's learn how to see a MAC address. This is the code that has to be typed in the dialog box in order to find the MAC address. In Mac OS, open System Preferences and then Network, and in Linux there's ipconfig-a. MAC addresses are permanently burned into hardware by hardware manufacturer. The first 3 bytes are ID number of the manufacturer, which is assigned by an Internet Standards body. The second 3 bytes are serial number assigned by the manufacturer, as shown in the diagram below. Now let's learn about the IP address. I think you've all heard the term IP address. So what is an IP address? It is also a unique identifier that a device such as personal computers, tablets and smartphones use to identify themselves and communicate with others on the internet. Any device that is connected to the IP network must have a unique IP address within the network, which is the Internet Protocol. It is used to send packets from one host to the another host, and the Internet Protocol versions are IPv4, that is for 32 bits, and IPv6, that is 128 bits, and it's shown in the diagram below. Now let's learn about the IPv4 address. So in the present day, maximum of the networking devices use IPv4 to connect to the internet. IPv4 is a 32-bit long password written in hexadecimal form. That means we have just over 4 billion addresses, and as you know, the internet is growing very fast, so we will eventually run out of numbers of unused IPv4 addresses, because every device including computers, smartphones and game consoles that connects to the internet requires an IP address. Now let's learn about the IPv6 address. The length of the IPv6 is of 32 bits. The total number of IPv4 IP addresses are just over a billion, as shown in the diagram below. The addresses in IPv6 are written in hexadecimal and separated by colons. Now let's discuss about the subnet mask. A subnet mask tells you about the number of IPs in network or range of IP addresses in the network. Its length is 32 bits long, and IP address and IP subnet mask are both equal to the network's address. For example, the IP address is 192.168.1.152 and the subnet mask is 225.225.225.0, and over here it's very well described with the help of a diagram. Now let's discuss about the gateway. I think you may or may not have heard about this term before. So there is an IP address of a router from which you are connected that sends the packets from local LAN to another networks. It is also called the default gateway. Generally, the first host IP of network is assigned to gateway because it's easy to remember, but we can assign any host IP or gateway, as you can see in the diagram below.